Let us have a look at the last warm-up, and it's right over here. So please remember, these warm-ups are just to give you a small feel, and when you start with the main section of workouts, that's the time where you will start getting some more challenging problems. But for now, let us have a look at this warm-up. So let me collapse my sidebar, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to prompt the user to enter two integers, and I want you to print its sum. So this is a sample input. For the first input, I want you to accept one integer. On the second input, I want you to accept the next integer. And once we have the output, I want you to print out the sum of it. Let's see how to do this. Let me go a little up. You can choose to use functions or not, it's up to you. But I would highly encourage you to create and use functions. So for this example, I'm going to create a function and let's see how to work with it. So let me create a function called as add numbers. It accepts two numbers. So this is my number 1. The type of it is an integer. We require one more number, so this becomes my number 2. It is also an integer, and I want this function to also return an integer. Let me add some documentation saying that this function adds and returns the sum of two numbers. Now let's write the return statement, and it's pretty easy. We simply have to return our number 1 plus our number 2. Now let us go down and let us accept the inputs from our user. So right over here, I can say my number 1 could be my input, and here I can say please enter a number. Now it's up to you if you want to display some prompt message or not, but it's not required. And let me copy and paste. This has to be my number 2. And here let me say please enter another number. And at the last, I can simply say I want to print the output of my function, add my numbers. The first one is number 1 and the next one was my number 2. Now let me save it. But this program has some bugs and this is not going to work as desired. Let me tell you why. If you go to this method of input, you can see the return is a type of a string. But what we want an integer. We don't want to add two strings. We want to add two integers. So we need to use a cast and we need to convert this input from a string to an integer. Let's see how to do that. So I want to wrap my entire input inside my cast of an integer. Let us do the same thing for the next input. So I can say this one also I want to convert the string to my integer. Now save the file. Now this time our program will work as desired. So let us try and run this file. So it's asking me for a number. Let me give 4, another number, maybe 3, and we have the output of 7.